This title doesn't mean the internet has teeth. Not literal ones anyway. It means that the place where memes live, where arguments happen at 3 a.m., and where someone is always wrong, is quietly sliding into your everyday life. The internet isn't a separate place anymore. It's the wallpaper behind your thoughts. It decides what feels normal, what feels urgent, and what feels real, even when none of it technically exists in the physical world. Reality used to be something you bumped into. Now, it's something you scroll through while eating cereal. Number 1. Reality with notifications. Imagine you're having a normal thought, just a plain unbranded thought. Then your phone buzzes. Suddenly, your brain abandons that thought, like it never loved it in the first place. That vibration didn't just interrupt you, it rewrote reality for a second. Your attention teleported. The room you were in lost priority. Somewhere someone likes something. And now that matters more than whatever your physical surroundings were trying to do psychologically. Your brain is terrible at multitasking, but wildly confident about it. Each notification feels like a tiny emergency, even when it's just an app, reminding you that you still exist. Dopamine shows up like an overeager intern, throwing confetti every time you check. Over time, your nervous system starts assuming that real life should behave like a feed fast, responsive, and constantly validating. So when reality doesn't update, when conversations pause, when nothing happens, when boredom sets in, it feels broken, like a website that didn't load. You refresh people, you refresh situations, you refresh yourself. This is how the internet trains you to expect stimulation on demand. And why silence now feels suspicious, as if something important is happening without you. Basically, your brain now treats the physical world like an app that's not optimized very well. Number 2. Opinions everywhere syndrome. You wake up, check your phone, and before you've even fully loaded as a person, you're already aware of 12 opinions about breakfast, politics, a celebrity you forgot existed, and whether birds are real. None of these opinions were requested. They simply arrived. Your brain didn't ask for them, but it accepted them anyway. Like free samples at a grocery store that now live rent-free in your soul. The human brain evolved to care deeply about the thoughts of maybe 150 people. That was the deal. Tribe size capped. Social stress manageable. The internet laughed at that and said, what if you cared about millions? Now, your nervous system reacts to strangers' thoughts, as if they're sitting across from you, making intense eye contact. A bad take from someone with an anime avatar can genuinely ruin your mood for hours. Psychologically, this creates a strange illusion. If everyone has an opinion, then every opinion must matter. Your brain starts confusing volume with importance. Loud becomes true, repetition becomes reality, and disagreement feels personal, even when it's about something like the correct way to load a dishwasher. Over time, reality starts feeling like a debate stage. Instead of a place you live, you stop experiencing things and start pre-arguing them. Every moment gets mentally uploaded for imaginary comments. It's exhausting. You're not living. You're moderating a comment section in your head. Basically, your brain is hosting a panel discussion it never agreed to organize. Number 3. The highlight reel delusion. You're scrolling peacefully when suddenly boom. Someone your age is thriving. They're productive, glowing, emotionally fulfilled, and somehow also on vacation. Your brain immediately files this under evidence that you were failing at being a human. Never mind that you were seeing a single, polished moment, framed by good lighting and selective silence. Your brain doesn't care. It compares anyway, like a raccoon, confidently judging a Michelin star restaurant. This happens because your brain is terrible at statistics, but excellent at vibes. It doesn't register that you're looking at thousands of curated moments, stitched together by algorithms. It just sees success after success after success, and concludes that this must be the baseline. Meanwhile, your own life includes laundry, uncertainty, and a deep emotional bond with your couch. Naturally, it feels inferior psychologically. This creates something called upward social comparison, which is a fancy way of saying your self-esteem trips over other people's best angles. The internet compresses everyone's wins into a non-stop parade, while your losses remain lovingly detailed and extremely personal. Eventually, reality starts to feel underwhelming, like you're stuck behind the scenes of a show everyone else seems to be starring in. You forget that their struggles were edited out, cropped away, or never posted because they don't match the aesthetic. Basically, you're comparing your unfiltered existence to a highlight reel that had a professional soundtrack. Number 4. The algorithm knows you too well. At some point, you stop searching the internet, and the internet starts searching you. You casually watch one video about productivity, and suddenly, your entire feed is yelling at you to wake up. At 5 a.m. drink chlorophyll and lock in. Your phone isn't psychic, it's just very good at noticing patterns. Like a raccoon that's figured out exactly which trash can you use. Your brain, unfortunately, interprets this precision as meaning. When content keeps finding you, it feels personal. It feels like destiny curated by Wi-Fi. Psychologically, this taps into confirmation bias, the tendency to notice things that already fit what you believe or fear. The algorithm feeds you more of what keeps you engaged, not what keeps you sane. If anxiety holds your attention, congratulations, that's now a genre. Over time, your reality narrows. You start assuming everyone thinks like this, because everyone you see thinks like this. Opposing ideas quietly vanish. Nuances evaporates. The world feels more extreme, more intense, more divided, not because it is, but because your digital environment has become a funhouse mirror that only reflects one angle of your brain. Eventually, you forget that the feed is not the world. It's a personalized hallucination, optimized for watch time, and you're walking around inside it, like it's a neutral documentary. Basically, your phone didn't open your mind, it redecorated it without asking. Number 5. Memory is now external storage. You try to remember something important, maybe a birthday, a fact, a historical event, and your brain immediately panics, then relaxes because it knows the internet exists. Why store memories internally when they can live safely inside a glowing rectangle that also knows the weather in 3 countries you've never visited? Psychologically, this is called cognitive offloading, which sounds fancy, but really means your brain is outsourcing its job. Phone numbers gone, directions gone, basic facts floating somewhere in the cloud, like lost socks. Your brain has decided it's more efficient to remember how to find information rather than the information itself, which is smart but also slightly terrifying. The problem is that memory isn't just storage, it's how you build identity. What you remember shapes how you understand yourself in the world. When memories live externally, reality starts to feel less anchored. Events blow together, time compresses, years pass and feel like a long weekend, sponsored by scrolling. This is why the past now feels weirdly flat. Everything is documented, archived, time-stamped, but somehow less vivid. You remember what happened, but not how it felt. Your photos remember for you, and they remember incorrectly, favoring smiles, filters, and moments that looked good in a square. Basically, your brain turned into a search bar with emotional lag. Number 6. Emotions with engagement matrix. You feel something: anger, joy, sadness, excitement, and almost immediately, there's a second feeling: should I post this? Your emotions no longer exist alone. They arrive with a performance review. Is this shareable? Is this relatable? Will it do numbers? Psychologically, this messes with emotional processing. Feelings are supposed to rise, be experienced, and then fade. The internet freezes them. It turns emotions into content, and content into currency. When validation arrives, in the form of likes and comments, your brain starts associating emotional expression with reward. You don't just feel happy, you feel happy for an audience, even if that audience is imaginary. This creates emotional exaggeration. Subtle feelings don't perform well, nuance doesn't trend, So your internal world gets louder, sharper, more dramatic. Mild frustration becomes outrage. Quiet joy becomes a life-changing moment. Sadness becomes aesthetic. Reality starts feeling fake, unless it's intense enough to be post-worthy. Eventually, you're not sure whether you're feeling something because it's real or because it would make a good caption. Your inner life becomes a draft folder, constantly edited, never quite finished. Basically, your emotions are now influences, negotiating brand deals with your attention. Number 7. Time has lost its shape. You sit down to check one thing, one harmless thing. Then you look up, and it's later, much later. The sun has moved. Society has progressed. Somewhere, someone invented a new word while you were gone. Time didn't pass normally. It slid quietly without witnesses. This happens because the internet is designed to remove stopping cues. In real life, time has edges. You finish a conversation, you leave a room, you get bored. Online, there is always another thing. Your brain never gets the signal to wrap it up. Psychologically, this throws off your internal clock, which relies on novelty and transition to measure time. When everything blends together into one endless scroll, your sense of duration collapses, like a cheap lawn chair. This is why hours online can feel like minutes, but minutes offline can feel unbearable. Reality feels slow, chunky, full of friction. The internet feels smooth, frictionless, eternal. Over time, your brain starts preferring the place where time doesn't behave correctly. Then something unsettling happens. Days feel shorter, weeks blur, and years feel oddly thin. You remember what you consumed, but not what you lived. Time didn't disappear, it was absorbed, compressed, and sold back to you as content. Basically, the internet didn't waste your time. It liquefied it and poured it down the drain. Number 8. Identity is now editable. At some point, you realize you don't just have an identity anymore. You curate one. Online, you can tweak the lighting, rewrite the caption, delete the awkward parts, and present a version of yourself that feels cleaner, sharper, and far more confident than the one who forgot why they walked into the kitchen. Psychologically, this taps into something deeply human, the desire to be seen and understood. The problem is that the internet lets you edit visibility without editing reality. Over time, the gap between who you are and who you present starts to hum with tension. Maintaining that gap takes energy. It's like holding a smile in a group photo that never ends. Your brain begins tracking how you're perceived. Instead of how you feel, you start thinking of yourself in third person. Does this look like me? Replaces, is this me? Reality becomes something you manage, not something you inhabit. This is why logging off can feel disorienting. Without the mirror of the feed, you're left alone with a version of yourself that hasn't been optimized. It's quieter, messiah, realer, and for a moment that can feel unsettling, like meeting a friend you haven't seen in years and realizing it's you. Basically, the internet didn't steal your identity, it handed you too many sliders. Number 9. Reality needs Wi-Fi. Now imagine something meaningful happens to you, and your first instinct isn't to feel it, but to document it. If there's no photo, no post, no proof, did it even happen? Your brain has quietly accepted a new rule. Experiences don't feel complete until they're uploaded somewhere. Psychologically, this is about external validation, replacing internal confirmation. Humans used to rely on memory and emotion to mark moments as real. Now, we rely on digital artifacts. A meal tastes better if it's photographed. A trip feels more official if it's posted. Even grief sometimes waits for a caption. The internet didn't invent this instinct. It industrialized it over time. Reality starts to feel unfinished. Without an audience, you're not just living your life, you're archiving it in real time. The present moment becomes a pre-production phase for the future memory. Instead of being in the experience, you're slightly ahead of it, thinking about how it will look later. This subtly erodes presence. Moments blur because you were half elsewhere. Managing angles, framing, wording. You were there but not fully. Reality becomes something you observe yourself participating in, like a low-budget documentary about your own existence. And the strangest part, when the internet goes quiet, no signal, no feed, no response, reality suddenly feels louder, sharper, heavier, like it's asking to be experienced without witnesses. Basically, reality didn't stop being real, it just started buffering. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.